Hello and welcome to today's episode. We will be talking about the strategy and connection of marketing. Last episode, we talked about marketing as a service and not necessarily just selling. And today we are diving deeper and speaking to Miss Jessica Freeman, a creative marketing specialist that will help us bridge the gap between connection and conversion. So, welcome, Miss Jessica. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Connie, it's good to be here.
It's
Yeah,
good to
thanks for
have you.
inviting me.
Yeah, so I want to get into a little bit of the human side of marketing because we know that there's just so many pieces of marketing, but specifically with AI and new technology, I want to dive into a little bit the human side and why it is important to have some emotional intelligence in connecting with your clients over a little bit of the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's these terms that are flying around quite a bit right now, and obviously artificial intelligence is one. Let's just be clear, this is November 2025. So if someone listens to this in a year, things could change, right? This is happening so fast. But everyone's heard of artificial intelligence, AI, and there's emotional intelligence, which is EI. And we're humans and we make decisions based on emotions and how we feel. People will say they don't and they make it more on maybe their mind or their brain, but it's human nature to make decisions on the way we feel. And it's really important to be emotionally aware and connected in marketing. And I think we're going to talk about AI a little bit later in the conversation, but yeah, I'm excited. I think it's so important to connect, be able to connect with others to really be successful in marketing.
Oh, yes. I love
Yeah.
that. It's one of the first steps for sure. What are three or four basic ways that you've seen in your career and just working with so many companies with marketing on how to emotionally connect with clients?
Yeah, there are a few different ways to really emotionally connect with clients. One would be through humor. People love to kind of laugh. You know, if you think of Super Bowl ads, a lot of them take that route. They're funny. Are kind of clever. Another way I would say is through education. So if you have something to educate your customers or clients on, they're going to pay attention and you're going to catch their attention, right? The third I would say is using inspiration. People really connect to inspirational messages, something they feel can uplift them. And if there was a fourth one, I would say something that they've never seen before or that's a little bit unusual that will catch their eye. So, especially when we're talking about digital marketing or digital ads, and if we really zone in to like social, people are scrolling pretty quick through all different types of ads and information, and you have less than a second to catch someone's attention. So, again, those four ways are kind of some different ways you can do that. Um, I personally I love inspiration. I love to connect that way, but humor is a great one.
Yeah, I love it. I love the simplicity of that. Like, yeah, for sure. Connect, humor, education, inspiration. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Is there one, have you noticed the variety, like a variety or one that maybe brings results more than the other, or is it just all client and customer based?
Yeah. Um, I think it is kind of tailored to your business and your audience. I've been fortunate enough to work globally. So on a global level, inspiration seems to connect
Mm.
pretty well. Different cultures can have different senses of humor, but I think education and inspiration are always pretty good. As far as just like grabbing someone's attention with an ad, if you can create something that a person's never seen before that can like resonate in any way, bring up any feelings, that's a good thing. You're going to catch someone's attention. So, yeah, I know that was kind of a long answer. Um, I would use emotional intelligence and just kind of connect into what you really think your audience is going to resonate the most with. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
I love it. I love it. All right, so now we want to get into simplicity and strategy combined, right? Like you can strategize, but then sometimes people like me, I'm guilty of doing this sometimes. they throw so many things out there, and you really want to simplify it, and especially in the marketing world, there's like so many tools, so many things people can use. What have you found specifically, like practical tools that you might use, or some people that you work with, some of your partners or people you work with, marketing tools that really do make a difference?
So marketing tools that do make a difference. Yeah, I would say, especially with all of the new technology tools that we have now and have access to, I think Canva has really stepped up. They do a really good job helping you produce your own creative. They do everything from LinkedIn banners to helping you with a pitch deck, um, to ads. And so if you're like a smaller business owner and you don't want to spend a lot of money on working with a bigger agency, you could try that, especially when you're kind of in the beginning phases of marketing. And I think it's pretty affordable. That they're about, I don't know, I want to say, again, it's November 2025. They're around $20 a month. Um, I would say another one would just be like a large language model. So like a Chat GPT or a Gemini or something where I think most people know what these are and are using these. And you want to use them very carefully, but man, you can really educate yourself about marketing and generate a lot of business ideas if you're comfortable using a large language model, which is an LLM.
Yeah, with so many tools out there. Yeah, AI and Canva can certainly be quite the rabbit hole.
That's true too. Yeah, there's so much in it. Yeah.
But it's so good. It is so good. The ideas and the things you can do with it is just amazing. So I completely agree. With that being said, what are like some mistakes, common mistakes that you see experienced business owners do with their marketing in general?
I think the biggest marketing mistake people make is not really understanding their clients or customers and what they need or want. Sometimes people tend to make marketing more about them or what they think, like what resonates for them. No, you're serving someone. You're, really trying to eradicate a pain point for your customer or client. And if you don't know exactly what they really need and how you can help them, again, it's about them, it's not about you. And they care about them and how you can help them. I know this sounds kind of harsh, but generally they don't care about you as much, you know? Um, so really understanding what can I do for them? And I would say if you're not sure, ask your customers and clients. Ask them what you can do better. Ask them how you can serve them better. Before you're starting a business, go talk to friends and family or just, get user groups together and see what people really need. You might have a great business idea that you feel like you can market no problem, and not very many people are on the same page as you are. So just make sure you do that research and um, yeah, that's kind of what I'd say. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I actually wanted to follow up, like what that's spot on for someone who's just starting out or maybe trying to figure out. But maybe what would have you noticed about more experienced business owners and the mistakes that they might do in some of their marketing?
Okay, so more experienced, I would say using too much text or making their message, not having it be simple. We're talking about simple messages, a sentence or two that can really grab someone's attention or that can explain what you do well. I think when people have a lot of text, whether it's on a site or advertisements or a billboard, even if you're writing an article for a publication that's going to go out, really too much information that doesn't just get to the point isn't good. So the best marketers can connect and teach and inspire within a sentence or two. And
Yeah.
that's not easy to do, by the way. It's not easy, especially with all the information we have access to, and like you're saying, all the tools. And so, even though there's so much going on in our world today, really, if you can just simplify your message into a sentence or two, or try to tell, if you don't have your pitch down within one or two sentences, you need to refine it about what you do and how you help somebody. Does that help, Connie? Is that better for the more experienced
Yeah.
business owners? Yeah.
No, no, it is. It certainly is. And well, one of the things I like to say is refinement, right? Like what business owners may have found that works, and I did this in the previous episode, but what business may find that works, the first 5 years of business possibly changes. It
Yeah.
changes a little bit, and there's just always refinement. Like sometimes quality was their main message, and then sometimes professional was their main message, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's simple and easy, and that's now their main message is simple and easy to whatever sign up or work with. um and so yeah, refinement, and you're right, just getting simple, like bullet points. Everyone just wants like bullet points now. Give me the essence faster, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. People's time is valuable and they want to know pretty quickly what you have to offer and how you can, again, help them, or help their family, or even, I say things they care about. It can be hobbies they're into, pets they love. How are you going to help them in their life?
yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, Jessica. So if you can share a little bit of some tips or pointers on how someone can stay consistent and visible in such a loud, noisy world
Yeah.
in marketing.
Yeah, I would say really understanding where your customers live. I would pick a few advertising avenues and stick with that. Like pick a few channels or platforms and stick with it and see how it works. So, um, if you're advertising to teenagers, obviously TikTok might work a little bit better than LinkedIn, right? So I wouldn't say it's necessary to get on every single platform or try every single type of advertising. I would really narrow in what you feel will work best for your customers. If you understand your customers, you'll know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, find out where your customers live, right? Like
Yeah.
where are they hanging out? Where is it that they go to look for you? Right? Like
Yeah.
where can you really reach them? That's huge. That's
And I
absolutely.
want to say events and conferences are still really good ways to reach people. Just consider that. Consider still in person networking can be very, very valuable for a lot of businesses. We always, we think so much about digital advertising and all the different platforms we can get on and social and that's important, but you can still really reach quite a few people through events or trade shows or maybe old school types of marketing efforts. Yeah. Depending on what your business is. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And how do they stand out? Like with the companies and businesses you've worked with, how do you help them stand out and not sound like just every other business or company out there is doing the same?
Yeah. So I go back to what we originally talked about at the very beginning of this podcast. It's connecting through inspiration again, or humor, or education. You have to really be able to still have that human element of connection marketing. I'm going to give you a great brand. It's an example of this. So Charlotte Tilbury has a pretty good makeup brand, and her makeup's great. Don't get me wrong, I'm for her makeup, but what she does a really good job at is education. I've been following her brand for about 15 years, and she is leading the way, especially in health and beauty with education. So she doesn't just have you buy her lipstick or her eyeshadow. She will tell you exactly how to use it, and how to use it for every ethnicity and every age. She'll tell you which products um, can help best, if you're going on camera versus being in the office. She's an incredible educator, and her products, they started in London. I was living in London at the time when they came out, about 15 years ago, and I remember going into Harrods and buying them there. And then throughout the last 15 years, they were in. I saw them in Nordstrom, and now she's got, in the last year, I've noticed she's even in. Ulta. And so she is a really, really good at education. And so that's, there's got to be something you're doing besides just selling a product that's a huge benefit for your customer or client. It's so important. Um, yeah, and you got to offer some free things too. Sometimes just offering, free webinars, free white papers, free products. That's important, kind of giving people a little taste of what you do and who you are.
Yeah, who doesn't
So,
like freebies? Ah, yes. Ah, well, thank you. Thank you, Jessica. I love it. No, that's good. That's good. Wonderful. Okay, let's talk about AI for a moment. How do you see AI supporting small business owners or entrepreneurs in marketing without necessarily losing the human touch and still staying connected?
yeah, so I think it's so important to not go right to these tools, these new tools and technology, and really use your own intuition and be able to connect with yourself, and then think about your customers and write your messages out on your, use the first draft should be your draft. So many people just go right to some of these LLM tools and they just pump out all this content. But if you're like me and you're scrolling through like social media, or if you're reading large parts of text, pretty quick if AI wrote it, or if this we're human, we're intelligent, we're emotionally intelligent creatures, we always will be. And so we can usually spot it pretty quick. I know you and I can definitely, we know pretty quickly if something was written from the heart rather than just generated. But I think most people do. And so um, you want to definitely use the tools more as an assistant, but you still want to use your voice. You have to connect with your voice, be authentic. If you're using these tools so much, it's not authentic, and it's not you. It's not your voice. It's not the tools. You can program them a little bit and make sure they know who your customers are, but really they're not the ones talking to Robert on the phone when he needs to sell concrete to Joe. They don't have that same human relationship. And so using the tools as an assistant, I think, is important rather than in a support, and they're great for that, rather than leading the way in your marketing strategy.
Oh my goodness, I love that. That is just gold. I well, 100% agree. Like that's one of the things. First start with you, right? First start with you and your voice and kind of get that idea going, and then go to AI and have them
Yeah.
support your idea and what you're going with. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I tell my clients all the time, make sure you use AI, not AI use you,
There
right?
you go.
So
Yeah.
you start with what you want and kind of what you're thinking, your strategy, your idea, and then go have AI support you in that, as opposed to like you just ended with, letting AI just lead the way, giving you a whole bunch of stuff that's sending you the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, not to mention AI hallucinates. So I don't know if your listeners are familiar with that term, but in AI, hallucination means all the information it gives you isn't correct. Again, November 2025 right now, it's not perfect, and it hallucinates almost every time I use it. And I almost always have to refine the message. We talked about this earlier, refine, refine. I don't ever get anything perfect the first try. I never have. And I use a lot of creative tools too, besides messaging and text tools. So I use Midjourney, Runway. I'm using Meta AI, which is awesome, by the way. Um, I'm using I like Kriya. That's another image generation tool. OpenAI. I have never gotten something that was perfect right straight away. I've always had to refine. So just know, like, this isn't AI isn't perfect, and it will get a lot better over time. But you need a human really starting the process and really involved in the beginning parts and phases of your strategy, and then a human yourself or one of your colleagues or someone that's working for you needs to really review everything that's ever been touched by AI, because there's 10 or 20% that's could be off. And that's what the statistics are right now. It's about 10 to 20% of it it hallucinates. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's almost like a heat of warning in your messaging here. It's like, don't be over reliant or over
Yeah.
dependent on AI. Stay in the driver's seat for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that. All right. And so to wrap things up just a little bit here, if there was one piece of advice or wisdom that you would want to give to entrepreneurs and business owners out there that you wish they knew, what would that be?
I would say make your brand original and authentic and something that you're extremely comfortable with and excited about, and that your team is too. So, again, just being authentic. Um, One thing that you can do that really helps in marketing is testing. So you can use data metrics, which are great actually with the tools and technology we have right now, to see which ads are performing better. So if we're speaking about social media, you can get metrics on which ads perform the best, or you can look at your site and there's metrics about, how many people are visiting your site each month. And if you ran 2 or 3 ads that worked really well on Facebook and your site traffic's up quite a bit, you probably want to pay attention to those ads, right? And try to understand why they worked well for you. And sometimes you're going to have ads that don't hit, and really understanding why they didn't. And again, you can go to customers and ask. So getting that data, getting the human data, and also the data that comes from technology and metrics, that's important. If you run a billboard and you spend a couple $1,000s on that one month, that would be, have a pretty good location, and you notice your website traffic jumps, there's probably something there with that billboard did well for you, And so I think as a business owner, you want to be smart about how you spend your money, and it's important to have a good return on investment in marketing for sure. And so making sure you can track your spending and what's really working for you and what's not. Um, we'll
I love it. Oh my goodness, Jessica, this was just so good. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us and having us and sharing a whole bunch of gold nuggets. If someone wanted to discuss this further with you, where could they find you? Where can they connect?
Yeah, I would just say connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is Jessica Freeman, and I think that's the best way to professionally connect with me. And I would tell LinkedIn it's getting better. They have a lot of educational classes now, and it's a great way to promote your business and connect with others. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for being here with us, and for you listeners. If this connected in any kind of way, or you find this beneficial for someone that you know in business, feel free to share. If you want to get the video version of this, watch it on YouTube. We'll have the link there, and feel free to subscribe so that you can get notifications in real time when new episodes come out. So until next time, be bold, create greatness, and rise.